John Howie Steak Online is one of the few places where you can order Japanese A5 Wagyu, the best steaks in the world. You can order one steak at a time, or you can order 20 steaks at a time, whatever suits your needs. And we're gonna show you how to cook it right now. When you order A5 Japanese Wagyu from John Howie Steaks Online, we send out some of the world's best sea salt, Portuguese fleur de sal, to season your steak with. It needs nothing more, as the richness of this meat will amaze. No oil is needed, as this steak has its own. We put this into a pan on medium-high heat. We don't want it to be too hot because it's going to be in the pan for a while. We're going to need it to finish all the way through, so all of the fat inside the steak is melted, because that's what makes true Japanese A5 Wagyu the best steak in the world. Okay, so we've got a beautiful sear on one side. We're going to turn that over and get that sear on the other side so that all of that fat and wonderful juice stays inside the meat. A lot of people have a fear of cooking the Japanese A5 Wagyu. They think they're going to ruin it. Well, what I'm showing you here is that this is a simple steak to cook, and you too can do it in your home and become just like a professional chef. So now we've got both sides seared. We're going to start searing the edges of this steak. We might not do that if this steak was a little thinner, but it's a nice thick piece of steak. So we're going to start searing the edges. You can see it's got a beautiful brown crust throughout the steak. We are sealing more of the fat and the juices of the steak right inside the meat. And when you cut into this, it's almost like cutting into butter. It just melts in your mouth. So we've turned down the heat to allow that steak to finish. We're going to pull it off at right around 115, maybe a little bit higher than that, just to make sure all the fat's melted inside. When you order the Japanese A5 Wagyu from John Howie Steaks Online, we've taken care of you. We've got all the instructions you're going to need to cook a perfect steak. The temperature guide shows you what temperature it needs to be to bring the steak out exactly as you like it. And then we've got options. You can char or gas grill. And then we have pan searing, oven roasting, and oven broiling. So there's lots of ways you can cook these steaks. My favorite is the pan seared, which we're looking at here, just finishing up. And I like it to be in between medium rare and medium, because I want all of that fat that's inside that beautiful steak just to release itself into the meats and have just an amazing texture, very silky, wonderfully juicy, Japanese A5. It's the best steak in the world. So we pulled the steak from the pan and we're just going to let it rest for about a minute or two. Look at the marbling of that steak, how beautiful that moisture is inside there. That's incredible. Amazing, all the juice and fat inside that meat. Nothing quite like that. That's the Japanese A5 Wagyu. Treat yourself, treat your friends. John Howie Steaks Online.